Hi, it's Colin Cowherd. I started The Volume to bring you some of the most authentic voices in sports. While you're here, make sure you hit subscribe. Thanks. There's very few people, I've done a couple events with Eli Manning, very few people that have achieved as much as Eli Manning, but are still humble and based on family and all the things that matter. Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler, number 1 overall pick. All right, Super Bowl week. Let's cut to the chase here, Eli. Your brother, your family, your father, Cooper have always told me this about you. Not that you were disengaged, but you weren't affected by things the rest of the family was. You were always sort of in your own head. So that leads me to believe, and I said this before about you, I always thought you were better in the 2-minute drill than out of it. I think you made your 2 best throws in your career. Certainly the Mario Manningham one qualifies. But with that said, that's in game. Did you get a little nervous or anxious coming out for the anthem and that sort of stuff pre-game?
I mean, I think there's definitely, you get the butterflies and you get, a little excited. And I think that's I was always kind of learned that that's a good thing. When you're nervous about something, that means you care about it. Like you want to do well.
Right.
It means you're prepared. You've given a lot of effort to it. You've worked hard and you want to go and win, and it means something to you. So to have the butterflies, I remember I tell the teammates that's normal. That's a good thing. It means you care and that you want to go out there and play well. So embrace it. And in those situations. So like once you're playing the game, they usually those go away. But it's like you said, it's the coin toss, it's the pregame where you have this kind of nervous excitement.
I watched your Mario Manningham throw this morning because I knew I was going to talk to you. It's just a ridiculous throw. I mean, I could argue, Eli, David Tyree, there's a bit of luck on certain catches.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
But Manningham is a freaking dime. Did you look at it afterwards and think, is that the best throw I've ever made?
It was tight. It was a little tight. It was a little risky, and I think that's kind of what makes it unique. It's when you get into a Super Bowl, and it's the most important throw of your life and the most important drive that you can have, and you can step up and make a throw that's like it's cover 2, a whole throw to a guy where if you throw it a yard inside, it's probably getting intercepted by a safety, but you put it in a spot where, hey, your receiver can catch it or no one else, and you trust your guy that they're going to make a play. And really what Mario does, I mean, the fact that it's over the outside shoulder, he can't see the ball hit his hands because outside shoulder, they say, I got to keep my 2 feet inbounds and take a hit from a safety, and to hold on to it was remarkable. So, it just changed that whole drive. We're backed up at our own 10, and now all of a sudden we're at the 50-yard line. Now we're kind of in control of the game. We got time. We can run the ball. We got plenty of time to make that drive and to score and not give Tom Brady too much time on the clock.
You had 2 Super Bowls, Rams' second Super Bowl for McVay. Anything in the second Super Bowl you took from the first, it could have been in prep, pregame, halftime, that you took and it helped you in the second one?
I think, you just learn how to kind of manage that week. And it's when you go to the Super Bowl, the last 20 weeks, you've been doing the same thing every single day. Your Wednesdays are the same. You're at home. You get a massage on a certain day. You maybe go to dinner with your wife, or you go out to dinner with your teammates one day. It's all the same. You get in that perfect routine. And now, before the biggest game of your life, you're in a different city all week. You're taking buses to practice. You're in a hotel. You don't have your normal routine. So I think just trying to keep that same routine and say, hey, planning ahead, saying I want to get, stretched out and massaged on Wednesday after practice, or hey, let's go to dinner and get a reservation at a new spot. And hey, what spot am I going to go to in Indianapolis? And so I think it's just kind of having a better way to plan and to kind of tell the other guys around you, the young guys, to go ahead and start planning as well. Because you've been there and you know what to expect.
Think about your second year in the league. Is it remarkable to you that Joe Burrow got in here?
I think I was impressed with Joe last year, just having watching him play. He was a rookie. There's a couple games where he's throwing it 30, 40, 50 times a game. He's got a bad offensive line last year, but he was still a lot of completions. He was scrambling at times. He was buying time. He wasn't throwing a lot of interceptions. He wasn't making a lot of mistakes and forcing things. And so I thought he played great last year, and this year, kind of the same thing, especially throughout the playoffs. 2-minute drives, playing tough, getting sacked 9 times in one game, but just hanging in there, not causing you to force a throw or throw it too early. And so he just kind of has that it factor that he steps up and makes critical plays and great plays at the right time.
I mean, you were a multiple-year starter at Ole Miss. He was a 2-year starter at LSU. By your second year in the league, he's had a couple of scrappy games, Jets, Bears, but were there times, would you have been ready, because you were often a better quarterback in the 2-minute drill playoffs than on the road. It's really remarkable about your career. But in year 2, can you even imagine leading a team on the road playoff games, or were you still in that sort of, man, I'm a little over my skis on some of these games?
I think you don't see young quarterbacks kind of their first time in the playoffs going in there and winning one playoff game, let alone multiple, just because it is different. You're playing against better teams, and everybody's up to the challenge. And so my first one, my second year, we went 11-5. We won the NFC East, and we get to the playoffs, and we get blown out by Carolina. And so I threw a bunch of interceptions, and it was just a terrible game. It took Peyton was in the playoffs a number of times. Matthew Stafford, like a lot of good quarterbacks, that first playoff experience, they don't do great. And here's Joe Burrow in his second year, winning 3 playoff games on the road. And I think the fact that he has kind of gone through a playoff scenario in college, and what he did at LSU, I think that does help. You had to go and beat some teams. You had to play in an SEC championship. You had to go on the road. You had to, and kind of go through that playoff scenario, I think gives you a little bit more experience to handle this and makes him more prepared.
OBJ, it's pretty impressive. Mid-season, go to another team, completely different offense, new quarterback. Are you kind of surprised how quickly and seamlessly it worked?
I think, obviously, Odell is extremely talented. He works hard. He's fast. He catches the ball well. And I think they just are using him so well. They've been smart since the get-go of not overloading him. I think the fact that you have Cooper Kupp, and he's going to be your workhorse, and we're going to move him all around. He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be in the slot. He's going to be out wide. Where with Odell, you're kind of like, hey, you're going to be out wide. You're going to win on slant routes. You're going to win on glance routes. You're going to win on comebacks, and you're going to run by people and run a post and an in-breaking route. Just routes that you've run a million times. You know where to go. We're not going to move you around too much, and so you can just go play fast. And when you get one-on-one, go beat the corner. And he can do that. That's what he can do. And so I think they're using him well. And you can see it, the timing's getting better with Stafford and him on the same page. The ball's coming out, anticipating, Stafford's anticipating a little bit more on when he can make those throws and let him go get it. So been impressed. And obviously, he's playing well. Happy for him to be in this Super Bowl.
Listen, you were lucky that you got Tom Coughlin at the beginning of your career. You really, one of the smartest guys. You had a lot of stability in the organization, which the Giants have not had in your last couple of years and since you left. Stafford had stability in high school, Georgia, and the Rams, but he went 13 years. Eli, a lot of coaches, a lot of coordinators, a lot of different offensive lines. You've had a couple of years when there was instability, when you got a new coach. How hard is that?
Yeah, it can be tough, and obviously what he's had to endure, and the fact that he's stayed with it. Always a great guy. Didn't blame anybody. Didn't throw anybody under the bus. Just kept working hard, and then you never know. All of a sudden you get a trade, and you're in LA, and they basically bring you there saying, hey, you're here to bring us a championship. That's why you're here. A lot of pressure has been put on him. He never won a playoff game, and so for him to kind of step into this situation, I think there was a lot of pressure that first playoff game, saying, hey, if I don't win this playoff game, this is a bust, and who knows what's going to happen. So I think he's played unbelievable through the playoffs. so happy, known Matthew a long time, and so happy that he's in this opportunity in a Super Bowl in his hometown, in LA with the Rams. So it's should be a great atmosphere for him.
Eli, on the Manning cast, I appreciate your dry sense of humor. And it's funny because, Peyton is more outward and probably, he loves to cut it up Saturday Night Live. But I know Cooper, and Cooper is so damn funny. I mean, he is lightning quick. And then here's Eli, and people think, oh, Eli's not. Then I watch you, and your sense of humor is boom, boom, boom. But before I knew you guys, I knew your dad. And so I watch all of you. I'm like, where do they all get their sense of humor? Your dad's a nice guy, but was your mom funny? Where does this all come from? Seriously.
I think it all actually comes from Cooper. I think he was the funny one and always has been. So just like dinners with Cooper growing up, we always sat down at the dinner table, and he just entertained. And so my dad laughed at it. We all like to laugh, and so you just kind of learn from him and learn to appreciate humor. You kind of work on your timing. You understand you like to laugh, so you surround yourself with other funny people and entertaining people. And so I think we all just had our different ways of dealing with it. And, Coop is quick-witted. He has good stories. He can do it all. So Peyton kind of learned how to tell the good story. And hey, I'm going to memorize this story. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to master it. I'll get better. And mine was just like they were talking the whole time. So if I said something, it had to be good. It had to count. So I'm going to say something quick. I'm going to hit to my point. And I'm going to get out. That's kind of the way it worked. That was just the dynamic of the family and kind of how we all, I think, got our own sense of humor.
You've really elegantly retired. You seem incredibly happy with your family up. I think it's New Jersey or New York, but I can see the trees behind you. Has there ever been a moment that you missed it? One moment?
Yeah, I mean, there's moments you miss it, but never moments that I regret the decision to retire when I did. And so I think it's you miss the team, you miss the locker room, you miss plane rides. After a win, you see the team win, you're like, that would be a fun plane ride. You miss watching these teams go through the playoffs, and yeah, I mean, what great experience that was. But it really just brings you back to those memories that you have. And so it's not a jealous, it's more just, hey, I'm going to call Sean O'Hara. Hey, I'm going to call Chris Snee today. Hey, I'm going to call Akeem Nicks and Plaxico today, and just kind of talk about, talk to some of those teammates and to see what they're up to and just reminisce about those good times.
Great seeing you, Eli. Always a pleasure. Kick butt. Eli Manning for Verizon. Anything you need to tell us?
Yeah, just real quick. I think obviously, Super Bowl week, and everybody, whether you're at the game, whether you're at home, whether you're on the go, it's all about being connected in a fast, reliable internet. And that's what Verizon 5G Ultra Wideband produces. So whether it's Verizon 5G home, whether it's Verizon 5G business internet, it's simple. You plug it in, and you're up and playing. There's no wires, there's no someone to come install it. So it's available to 100 million people around the country. It's 5 times faster than 4G. So if you want to stay connected, all your devices, your tablets, your phone, your gaming, your smart TVs, Verizon 5G Ultra Wideband's the way to go.
Thanks for including me in this, bud.
Yeah, a lot of fun, Colin. You're the best, man.